Like Nick's like, I'm a professional. Of the three of us on the channel, Nick, who do you have to censor the most?
It's not me.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yes.
No, I'm quite good.
Because you'll say things to camera and I'll go, you can't put that in, and you'll go, yeah, I'll edit that bit out. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. On a note of things you can't hear, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another episode of the first one in a long time. Welcome back to Blue Talk.
Hello.
Everyone wave.
Ew.
And it's a very special episode today because I'm joined with all my Ark buddies around me.
Is
Not
it
all.
a special episode? Are we going to learn the values of not doing drugs?
Yes. Do not
Fantastic.
do not do the
And I've
drugs.
got my straight edge tattoo in shock, so definitely.
There you go. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Everybody.
So you missed the joke. Salty got it.
No, Carl did it as well. I think
Oh,
Mike might have done it. Kind of.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm pointing the direction they are on my screen, but probably not on the yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Salty's directly below me, so.
No, Salty's below us.
I'm below everyone. Well, yeah.
Salty's in the center of my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in the centre of my screen as well.
That's right.
But
Centre square.
there you go.
Circle.
So what are we doing today? Today we are discussing, having a little retrospect on our journey through Wave 1 and, some afterthoughts, I guess, of how we're feeling now about Wave 1 of the Ark. Yeah, that's it, Joe. You got it. Everyone stroke your beard and have a little think. Have a little think about the things that impacted you the most.
Us?
Yeah,
Oh, us.
yeah, you go on.
That impacted us the most.
Was
Me-
that a rhetorical question?
No, me personally, I wanted to get Starscream back on the table. So I made Ghost of Starscream to see if we could move that along. And we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah, there's been a few interesting discussions around Ghost of Starscream.
So far, so good, yes.
I mean, he's got to be, I think, one of my favourite cards from the set. If I'm honest.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
He's,
I'll take that at W.
he's really good.
Wow, RJ is so upset that he's left.
Oh, damn. Sorry, RJ. I didn't mean to.
You didn't pick Grimlock.
I haven't had a chance to build properly with Grimlock yet, apart from testing. See, testing was I managed to play most things in testing,
We don't test.
but
Right.
oh no, don't say that.
He's back. He's back. He's back.
He went to go whistleblow on us and tell people that we're not testing. But the entire community will be up in arms when they hear that. They didn't what?
Pitchforks.
They'll get over it.
Yeah.
What's testing?
I don't think there was anything we did in Ghost of Starscream testing about his ability that did anything wrong. It was mainly numbers and stats. Man, I started him off with 8 attack.
It was a high one.
Took
Yeah.
that right down.
There you
And
go.
I know at the beginning of the life cycle of the game, I always harped on I can't stand characters with 0 defense. And what do? Both sides. It didn't make any sense whatsoever to give him defense. He's a ghost.
Ghost,
Well, I had to fall right into my own trap. Couldn't do it. Couldn't even give him 1. Nope, not at all.
What happens if you put the Ghost Shield on Ghost of Starscream?
It falls right through.
Disappears completely.
Hold it. How does that work?
He's doing
He becomes Shin Casper.
Oh my god, Devil
great.
Casper. I like it.
And also when testing with the tap and enemy, it was very strong at the beginning, and then once it came down to a 1v1 situation, he's essentially a blank character. Like,
Yeah, that's true. And the thing I do like about it, because I was playing against the other week with Ghost of Starscream. Oh no, it was Brian Blair. You quickly learn that you have to attack with your most valued character first, otherwise they're just going to get tapped down, and because we were testing some stuff, some potentially broken, well not broken, but some really degenerate suggestions, and Ghost of Starscream and Wreck-Gar. We were looking at that and seeing how bust that can be, but I managed to whip out the old Captain Jetfire deck, which has been updated with art cards, and beat him, I think, if memory serves me correctly. It's been a very long week, so my memory's a little bit fuzzy. But yeah, no, really digging Ghost of Starscream, if I'm honest. He's. I'm looking forward to building something around him.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you built Ghost Starscream, and then we built the cape, which doesn't work on Ghost Starscream.
That's fine. That's fine. I knew that going into that.
I mean, not every card has to work with every iteration of the character.
Right.
No, it's
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Great.
I have also actually I have seen people trying to use the cape to buff the amount of damage that Starscream does when he flips with the number of planes. That doesn't work because there's no number on the card.
Oh.
It says deal damage equal to the number of planes you control. So you can't add one to the number because there isn't a number in the text box.
Okay.
There you go.
We might have to FAQ that at some point.
But as I say, it's something we knew. It's
Oh,
something
okay. But people
we
are
knew
trying.
going in when
I
we
actually
were talking about.
because I forgot what Air Commander Starscream's text said. I was actually one of the first concerns I raised when you guys were designing the cape.
Yeah, we were like, no, because it doesn't have a number in it. It just says equal to.
And I'm like, oh yeah, so he doesn't. All right, here you go. Here's the wording.
All right. What about everyone else? What's standout card impact from the set of is in retrospect now thinking about it. Someone else can just dive in straight in.
I'm really happy that Countdown is making Omega Supreme see a lot more play.
Countdown's got really good feedback, I find.
Yeah, a lot of people have really liked him. He's working. Somebody made an absolutely insane 5-wide Omega Supreme deck using the Bayformers Countdown as well. And also a card I wasn't even expecting to have a blip on the radar. I just didn't think about it. Vampire Ribbon in Combiner Omega Supreme. That's kind of silly.
I love Vampire Ribbon, man.
Yeah,
I mean it's a heal card. Of course, I like it.
of course.
Yeah, that with a toolbox and some other shenanigans, you can get some good mileage out of that card, man.
Yeah, Vampire Ribbon is quickly becoming a widely used card for me. I mean, I'm finding it hard not to include it in most decks.
Just too good. Is a 1-of or 2-of?
Yeah, it's very useful.
The green icon on it is really what's pushing it over the top, I think. Also, despite all the complaints about Assault Formation, I have not noticed it dominating anything.
No. I think the most craziest things I've done was with like Fangry, Chrome Dome, and Night Racer. But that was it, at the same time. But it's a good card. It's so good and it's needed. It's needed to match Wedge.
Yeah, it is a 3-of, I think, in a lot of decks. Don't get me wrong. Like, as I said, it's the 3 pips are really handy. But I always find the effects to be useful one way or another. But I don't think it's anything like people were saying at the beginning. It's not anything meta busting.
Yeah, it's just a blue wedge formation. That's the intent behind it. And that's what
the
it
thing
does.
is, how many times have you played someone or played yourself, and you've taken a wedge formation and you've played it and used one of the effects on the card? I've done that lots. The amount of times you just go, oh, I'll just use one of these, it's fine. Just having it in the deck is good enough. I think it's the same thing with Assault Formation. You might never use all 3. Yes, it's potentially really powerful, but you need that setup to get all 3. And just playing it for 1 or 2 effects is good enough. And it's definitely not game breaking.
Yeah, I've been to find that it'll be like, all right, I've got a ranged character with no damage on it. My melee character's already attacked. All right, I guess I'll flip my specialist.
Yeah.
So, we made RJ leave again.
It's about flipping specialist. He's like, damn it.
It's like, talk about Grimlock.
All right, let's talk about Grimlock while he's not here.
Oh, so good.
So outside of testing, I've not had much of a chance to use Grimlock yet, sadly. So
I was really doing this for RJ.
I want you to feel how heavy this is.
Is this
I love
food?
Grimlock. He's so good.
Yes. What food is it?
You eating on camera? What is this nonsense?
I'm not gonna eat on camera. That's rude.
So I didn't want to derail the conversation, but in terms of assault formation, and just in general, like how crazy it is for people, and we all did this right as sets were coming out, to see a card and be like, oh my god, that's super overpowered, and then you play the card, it's like, oh, that's actually like really fair. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just hopefully that'll change.
That happens with multiple cards every set. like we said during testing all the way through, people will think this card is really strong. People will think this card is rubbish. And then after like 3 weeks of the set being out, they'll be completely reversed because we all did the same thing. Oh, that card looks okay. Like, and then all of a sudden you use it in every deck because it's actually really good.
Right.
And that card looks really strong. And then you go, oh, actually, it's not as strong as I thought it was going to be. You know.
Nick, speaking on balancing things, what was your toughest decision to make when balancing Galvatron's ability damage? Walk us through some of that.
Jesus.
Joe has questions written down.
So you read that.
I mean, it was. I think I'll be honest. I felt like I hit the mark pretty early with that, because we went with 4 initially. As a sort of, I was like in my head, I was like, "What's fair? 5's too much." I mean, you can get 5 because I was trying to liken him to both the SRT Megatrons, because you've got General Megatron that does damage based on the weapons on the battlefield, and on a good day when you flip him, he can do 5 damage.
Max, yeah.
Give or take. Unless, I mean, there's probably some other shenanigans you can run to get like 6, but you have to have like I guess. Actually, technically, no, it doesn't work. Let's say 6. So in Magical Christmas Land in one game, let's say you get 6 out. That's like your high end, I think, of direct damage. And then with Lord Megatron, he can get what, 7, possibly more. 7.
I got whacked at the Invitational. I got whacked by a Lord Megatron for 10 damage once.
Did he have a shoulder holster on as well, and like two?
No. Heat of battle. Attack your prime. Oops, you reshuffled after my battle flips.
Right. Damn.
Yeah.
That's not good. So, judging by those, which I think are probably slightly harder to pull off than Galvatron, 4 at the time seemed like a fair number. The idea of 3 damage was floated about, but 3 just didn't feel worth it.
It felt lackluster, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's Galvatron, and he's not been in the game yet. He is one of those top. I'd class him as S tier characters. You might disagree, Joe, but you know, he should have an ability fitting of his namesake. So yeah, 4 felt fair, and once again, it's direct damage, so it can be easily negated. To be fair, there's like Hollow Matter exists, Take Cover exists, Reflect Damage exists.
And I think initially you had a stronger restriction on him too, where he had to have every color of upgrade on him, like OA, right?
That was something like that. Yeah, it was. God, it feels like months ago now. But yeah, in the beginning,
it was.
Yeah. In the beginning, it was the restrictions were toyed, and then in the end, it was like, no, let's do half. Let's it's a smaller amount of damage. Let's make the ability easier to pull off, and then if you want to play him in a deck with OA and you want to try and go the full distance, that option's there as well. So
Back to Christmas Land again.
Yeah. Although, like I said, I feel like I've been able to get that off quite a few times in games I've played with him. Is I've gone, here's the attack, here's 10 attack, 10 attack damage, here's 4 from his ability, here's 15 from overwhelming advantage. Have a nice day, sir. Thank you very much. It's good when it goes off, but
I almost got there, and then I got twisted logicked.
Oof.
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah. Also, you'll be surprised the amount of times I don't get it off. Hey, Salty. Hey, Wes, actually, because we had a set, didn't we?
We did.
With Galvatron, and I was ready to quit. Yeah.
I think you missed it 4 times or something in that. 3 or 4 times. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I was upset.
Like Adam when he plays Metroplex.
Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, and again, the other thing as well, with 90 different removal cards in the game, you can disrupt it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the other major changes originally for Galvatron, while we're on the subject of him, is he had his flippability was just scrap utility. The idea behind that was to be thematic against taking out the Decepticon crown, because he crushes it in the movie, So I thought if you flip it, he scraps you to destroy the crown, and yeah. But then I think Wes, you said at the time that also felt a bit pump.
It felt lackluster. It just was like, eh. It made you almost. There would be very few circumstances where you'd want to flip Galvatron to his tank mode for that, because I mean, granted, utility removal seems to be overlooked more often than not, but it would be very. It felt very singular, very just like. I understand why you did it, but I'd want a reason to want to flip him, especially when you're in circumstance with like when you're doing a hunker down and you want to get those guys all flipped over. And when you make that flip, it then becomes a lot more impactful, especially if there's a utility. I mean, not just an upgrade you want to crush. So,
yeah. I think that's why in the end, like I put it into This Is Bad Comedy as an action card because, felt right.
Again, you say it led to the action card, which makes perfect sense because there is so little in terms of utility removal in action cards. But also one of the points that we made when we were testing it is like Wave 1 Common Megatron. His flip ability is scrap a card, scrap an upgrade. I was like, well, if Galvatron is a boosted up version of Megatron, if we remove the scrap a card option, there you go. Kind of fits. He's better than Megs.
Yeah.
It's also more expensive. I mean, 13
Well,
stars.
oh yeah.
10.
Yeah, obviously. You're paying for the difference, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then, with that, there was the whole trying to keep on theme, Barbarian Rage, which is the stratagem that comes with him. Which I'm hearing things around. People are saying it's crazy strong. And that you can, for an extra 2 stars, just taking 2 5-star characters is fine. And you can just use Galvatron to really hurt people. But I don't know. Once again, we're in that whole place, aren't we? Where it's like, how strong actually is it? He's damaging his own team. So, yeah. I don't know.
2 damage adds up quite a bit, and there's no way for him to negate it.
Yeah, so it has to happen. He's a lunatic. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna slap you about. Yeah. So if it was fine. Maybe I don't know. It's come at me with debt lists. We like that because it helps us fix stuff. I think we're quite good with that, aren't we, lads?
I think so.
We're great with it as long as people provide us tangible, actionable data.
Yeah, anecdotal.
Anecdote. Yeah, exactly. Hearsay, just theory crafting doesn't get us to where we need to be to make changes or fixes if we need to do it. It has to be, hey, I played 20 games against X different amounts of decks, and this is the result every single time, or 80% of the time, or 60% of the time. Then we can then go back with that same data, make our own inquiry and tests, and take those decks and take them apart and use them. And then if we see the exact same results, then we're good to make a change. Case in point, I mean, Starscream's Brigade is a great example. When I had 10 brawls total in a game, 8 of them happened to be in the KO area, but 2 of them were on the table. And 2 of them were still on the table, and I was poised to be able to put at least another 1 out on my next turn. Yeah, okay, that's and we discussed it, and it wasn't the spirit of the original of the card. Really, the spirit was to get Bruticus on the table with Starscream, not to get a brawl army or an onslaught army out. So we saw that, we made a change. Yeah, it took weeks. Well, we've all been busy. We let people breathe with the cards. We're not going to make a change like the day after something drops just because a number of people say, oh, there's something wrong. We have to actually see how people use it and get some data. And we took action. We took action quickly on some things, and we took action slowly on others because we need to see what's up. So,
speaking of Starscream's Brigade, Mike, what made you think of using it as an additional method to play Bruticus?
Just going back to the cartoon show, it just doesn't seem right to just have the Combaticons. Starscream had to be involved somehow. And originally I wanted to have a different way of getting them to combine other than just an Enigma. But then, I don't know, that wasn't really working out. So the Enigma needed to be part of it, but then figured out a way to get them onto the battlefield with him. But yeah, I never thought about them. People would be bringing out infinite brawls, and I was like, you just want to get Bruticus out there. That's it. Just like Wes is saying.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we changed the card, so now that can't happen, and it's more in spirit of what it was intended for. So,
But as
it worked
part
out.
with the change, though, once you get Bruticus 1 out, you can start working on Bruticus 2.
Mhm.
That is true.
And if that happens to you, it's your own fault.
Just like Double Volcanicus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time as well, we make cards, we discuss changes, and then we put cards out assuming those changes are in place because we've discussed them, and then it turns out they're not in place. So my Megatron, for example, I actually thought Decepticon only was already on the card, and it turns out it wasn't. It was just leader, which led to a lot of issues as well.
I mean, on a thematic reason, the reason why it was just leaders, we kind of discussed is like, Carl mentioned, there's precedent of Optimus Prime using Megatron.
I was really pushing for Optimus to be able to use Weaponizer Megatron, and then Springer happened. Like Daring Escape.
Yeah, it's Springer. Such a degenerate.
Springer has kind of ruined everything because it makes designing cards really difficult.
And I say this as one of those degenerates that play Springer. Yeah,
You do.
Yeah, you have to be really careful that it's not your card is not going to get Springered. I think that should be the term going forward.
Gonna get sprung.
Yeah, is this card springable? That's the question you need to ask in the future, I think. So yeah, I think from now on, that's our design process 101. Test it with Springer first. if it's not broken, move to stage 2. Daring escapable. I don't know. Going back to Grimlock quickly, like one of my favourite tests that we ran during all of this was, I think RJ was worried about Grimlock being bust and broken, and I said, I'll tell you what, let me do a 10 matches against Skyball.
Yes.
And I will see what happens. And basically Grimlock went 0-10 against Skyball. I was like, Grimlock's fine, if not slightly underpowered. And you're like, oh, probably beef him up again.
Mm-hmm. That card was the bane of my existence, and probably the bane of your existence too by the end of it.
I didn't mind. I just wanted to get it right.
Well, like I said, watching RJ just Grimlock, oh, this. It was really funny to watch that whole process of RJ. Okay, he's too strong. Okay, he's not strong enough. Okay, I don't know what to do. Guys, I don't know what to do.
But that goes into another trap that we kept running into during the design process was oh God, what if someone just pairs this with Fangry? And it's like, we can't just be shackled by what already exists. We have to be able to expand, and if something does turn out to be problematic with a certain card, we can make adjustments so that it's less viable to be played with that card. Like for example, Megatron got fixed to be only work with Decepticon leaders, so Springer can no longer spring him. But Grimlock was the whole, oh no, what if someone just says Grimlock with Fangry and a Bolt Head and some other like 4 or 5 star nobody and just aggroes their entire deck at their opponents? Like, okay, I mean,
you can do that.
Yeah, you can do that, and it's not as problematic as it sounds. 'Cause I mean, Bugs has been around forever. Then there's the Wave 5 Megatron, throw your deck at your opponent.
I think Joe and I have both played variations on that.
I mean, I have that built right now. I haven't modified it with Ark cards, but
Also,
Megatron plus Clobber is hilarious.
Also, I like to call the David Burgo special, which is it's 4
Burgo's
white.
bold.
Yeah, and I remember
4
playing
white,
it.
orange, black, million of untaps, and only four wedge or 3 wedge formations in a pocket processor to draw cards out of your 42 card deck. I'm sorry, I'm not better.
I played that on the channel at the end of Wave 4, and I fell in love with it, and I was like, this is disgusting.
I just played against it in the Eye of the Matrix tournament.
Nice.
Yeah, you got raffle stomped, didn't you?
I got wrecked so hard. It wasn't even a contest.
Damn. So yeah, I mean, I'd be interesting to see how Grimlock is performing out in the wild. If people are playing him, maybe they've come up with something that's quite crazy. I like the idea of running a solo Grimlock with some really crazy upgrades. I don't know if that would work as well as solo Galaxy Prime. Mind, but Grimlock sword, maybe Apex armor, or something like that.
It's good. The most common thing that I've been doing is Grimlock, Wreck-Ar, and Wheelie, and having Wreck-Ar fetch the Grimlock sword as soon as I flip it. So, and then just go smash. Feels so good.
Because at first, even Grimlock was flipped to alt mode and grab a weapon. I can't count how many iterations he went through. So
I mean, the first iteration I remember seeing was he actually started with the sword, kind of like how Ultra Magnus started with his armor.
Yeah.
And that was a no, that's bad.
Imagine that version, folks. He had.
Oh, it's on fire.
Was it turn 1? He was doing like bold 6 or something ridiculous.
Without even playing a card, essentially.
Murdering
I believe Joe's complaint was on turn 1 without playing anything, he swings for like 21 attack damage. Man, that thing's broken. We're like, yeah, okay, should probably change that.
He also had, if I remember rightly, a version of Optimus Prime Battlefield Legends ability, but for weapons.
Yes.
So it was when he attacked. It was when he attacked. And I really liked that version. It was when he attacked, he could play a weapon that he flipped.
Yes.
And it didn't.
That's what Megatron living weapon should have been.
Yeah,
I agree.
That would have been too strong because with Grimlock, you would equip him with a flamethrower, get the extra bolt too, and then you play like Master Sword on him, right? Or in the deck, and then you flip the Master Sword, equip it to him after he attacks, and he's swinging for 1 million.
Yep.
Feels good.
Yeah. Definitely too strony though. So
yes,
absolutely too strony.
Yeah.
Strony.
Strony.
Let's turn our attention to another card that I like actually, Skybite.
Yeah.
Because I haven't done it yet, but I'm really looking forward to giving Skybite a go. Why Skybite, Matt? Why Skybite?
Well, I'm a huge fan of the Robots in Disguise, one from back in the early 2000s, and I really love Skybite. And when I first started making them, he was the very first character I made, and he was inspired by a napkin when I was at McDonald's watching Game Grumps. So, yeah. So I did him up on a napkin and brought him home, and I showed everybody, and people were like, "That's fantastic, but be careful." And so we kind of went through a weird process because at first he ate your opponent's deck, and then Salty was like, "Well, what if we're playing on webcam? We don't want to kind of mix up cards. Why don't we have him eat his own deck?" And I was just like, "That makes sense." So he eats his own cards, and then he spits them out. He's kind of a lovable loser, so all his plans they do come out to fruition, but they don't last for very long. And he's the lovable idiot, and he's kind of a foil, and he's a lot of fun to play with the military patrol.
Matt, why didn't you bring along Darkscream, Slapper, and Gas Skunk with Skybite?
We didn't have any art, and I believe that I believe I asked Jamie if you want to help me out with those, but we will make them if we can get the art. We will make them if we can get the art, maybe.
I've got a big love for sharks recently after playing Maneater, so I do want to build a shark deck. Skybite in the Sharkticons. So let's go. Can we do that?
It's so good. It's so good, Nick. It like play emergency maintenance. It bring that you can play so many old fun cards like swap missions. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I think I played him against you, Nick, during testing. I believe I was, and I think I was one of the most concerned about Skybite's power level when we first took him to test. I was like, oh god, this sounds horrendous. And then one of the main things I think was the Tsunami Blaster not originally having a bold cap on it. It was if you had 4 or more, you scrapped it after the attack, but the bold wasn't capped. So you could just eat and then go, I'll attack for bold 12, and then scrap the blaster. We're like, no, let's not do that. Let's cap the bold at 4. But then when I played him against Nick in testing, I really enjoyed him. I personally would never leave home without a stratagem.
No.
Was the stratagem built into him at one point?
It was, but
yeah.
I wanted people to be able to play it separately if they wanted to. And as people say, he's a 12-star character with it, but there are ways to play him without it, and I'll let people find that out. So.
Oh yeah, you can play any character without a stratagem. Like, I'm sure that there's a particular combo I wanted to do where I'm like, I can't quite afford the stratagem. I'd be fine with that. I just really enjoyed playing him with the stratagem.
Yeah, he's so much fun.
Remember, folks, tap Matt up for his secrets somewhere on the interwebs. And he'll tell you, if you pay him enough money, what combos you should be using. No, he won't really. I'm joking. I'm making it up. I'm just offering your services out, Matt. Sorry. Hey, if it makes you money, that's cool. No, I'm looking forward to using Skybite.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
I actually have a question for you, Nick. It's someone from my group. When making Cyclonus, why did you choose the white pip in his alt mode? And was Cyclonus your very first character? Why? Was he your very first?
He was. No, he was, actually. As much as I go on about Galvatron, I don't go on enough about my secret love for Cyclonus. Like, I really, 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 really dig Cyclonus. I've always liked his look. I've always thought he was the coolest plain character. Sorry, Starscream fans. I
mean, you're wrong, Nick, but carry on. Joe's not in the room, so I'll field that one.
Yeah, and he's a bit Ronin, isn't he? He's a bit Ronin.
Yep.
Old Cyclonus. So he's pretty cool. So yeah, he was my first character, I think, for that reason. Obviously, I didn't want to tackle Galvatron first. I just didn't. So that's why I did that.
He's a big fan so far. I mean, his ability to choose any type of leader is so unique, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just to prove that he is a loyal. I mean, that version of the character anyway is a loyal protector to whatever leader he's serving under at the time. So, I think restricting it to just Decepticon leaders might have been a bit, because, as a small nod, I guess, to the IDW comics, where he's not necessarily a Decepticon. He kind of just plays both sides, I guess. So not restricting it to Decepticon leaders for that reason. Why the white?
I looked away for 10 seconds, and all of a sudden, Joe and RJ have swapped places. What's happened?
They're eating food, but they're swapping out on camera. See? Yes. I would have had you eating on camera, to be honest. It would have been more fun. I should want my pizza.
If we're ordering food, hold on.
Oh my god, what the hell is that? I want it.
That was a sandwich with spaghetti on it. Yes?
Chicken parm with spaghetti, it looked like.
I love it.
I need it.
That sounds fantastic.
I need it. How?
Whoa.
Wow.
So why the white pip, Nick? What was it? Was it?
Oh yeah,
why the white pip?
Why the white pip? I think just because it's not. It wasn't necessarily just because. I think it was. I didn't want to restrict him to being played in a blue or orange deck, and I feel putting a blue or blue or orange pip on there would have made people choose what kind of deck you should play him in, whereas a white pip seems pretty neutral. So, and it means he can fit into most kind of decks. I could have gone green, I could have gone black, but I don't want to push black decks, if I'm honest, as I think I'd rather focus on other pips. And white seemed like a good choice, I think, at the time.
That's great.
So yeah, put me on the spot there. I was like, okay, The answer came to me. I like it.
Yeah, what I'd have done, Nick, I'd have said because Callous Leadership is also a white card.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think of that. But good answer, Salty. I was clearly thinking of it at the time. You read my mind.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So, I mean, we've all had a chance to play decks post Ark release, I presume. Everybody, most people.
A little
Yes.
bit. Lockdown has obviously scuppered myself quite a bit.
Loving it so far. This weekend, I've made Skybite in the Military Patrol, Sideswipe, Sunstreaker, and Jazz, the Fire Cons with the Quest for Fire, also a double Windblade deck because it's for stupidness, King Grimlock, and also the Sharkticons with Sea Spray, and and Nah.
Wow. Okay. Wes, you've been playing quite a few bits.
A bit, yeah. I'm 100% thoroughly in love with the Combaticons. I think they are they're fun to play. I think with the added cards we put in, like resilience and things like that, it gives combiners a bit of wanted love. I rebuilt my aerial bots with some of our stuff with trilithium plating and resilience, and the aerial bots are kind of stupid with that. I mean, they get that combiner survivability. I mean, sure, going up against like a Chrome Dome deck's going to be hard, but that's pretty much, there's nothing you can do about that.
That's always been the case.
Yeah, so it's but I've had a lot of fun updating just some of my older decks with just Ark cards. I have a 3-wide prime deck that I just really enjoy, and I've been able to put some extra tools in its toolbox, which makes me happy. I've got a wonderful double jazz list. So using Wave 1 Jazz plus the Wave 1 Jazz plus a stratagem and the Ark Jazz together with Bumblebee and who was the fourth? Oh my god, it's a four wide card. Stakeout. There we go.
I was to say I played against it, and I was like,
It's a lot of fun disruption. But it's not like I tear your hand apart right away. It's I tear your hand apart slowly.
So is that the game we were playing? What was I running? I was running Stunticon, wasn't I?
Yes.
And you kept ripping the
Enigma
out of my hand, and I was like, I hate you so much.
Yeah, I didn't let I don't think Menasor hit the table. I think I just kept going, bye. But that's that was a really fun list. I know Lee and Dave made a bit of a they were like, oh, the Jazz stratagem doesn't really do anything for him, and I was like, oh, I disagree.
Yeah, I've played a game against Nick using the Jazz stratagem, and boy, did he not like me very much.
A significant number of characters are 8 stars or less.
It's true.
Yep,
exactly. And that's why I think it's a reasonable card to. That's one of the reasons I wanted to make it, because I wanted. The biggest problem Wave 1 Jazz had, was that Pierce was easy to acquire. Even after Wave 3, Pierce was still easy to acquire, and it was easy to just slap that Jazz around with no difficulty. Changing it out so it basically erratas him and says, no, he's kind of like Scrapnel, where he can only take a maximum amount of attack damage if you flip these cards, just seemed to make more sense. It kind of, with that whole like he's dodging and weaving, zooming around kind of thing was the idea. And it works really well, especially in that two, with the other Jazz, those two together, and him making basically starting out as your blocker. I mean, as long as they don't, and that's the thing is if they want to get rid of them, they have to commit a larger star character, and that could be dangerous for their team, and that leaves them wide open. So, I don't know. I've really enjoyed that. That's actually probably my favorite decks. My favorite new deck next to the Combaticons that I've made is the deck I'm calling All That Jazz.
Wes, while we have you going, what was the hardest part about making the Unicron raid, and can we have any glimpse or hints about hard or nightmare mode?
So the hardest part about making the Unicron raid was trying to figure out player count. We started out with it 3v1, and we found that due to tempo of the game, it actually made it really hard to make Unicron a viable threat without making everything else so much more powerful. So after a bit, we finally, condensed it down to 2v1, which we also decided 2v1 was actually easier to get people together, maybe to play it, because it's sometimes hard to get, 4 or 5 people together, but it's usually easier to get 3 people together. And then the escalation, that went through a couple different iterations. I'm a huge fan of the game Sentinels of the Multiverse, which is a great co-op game against an AI-controlled opponent. We had originally were trying to think of an AI mechanic for Unicron, but then it didn't play out how I felt. We didn't feel it played out right, so we changed this to an escalating theme of Unicron. You have to get through these waves of Unicron's minions to get to Unicron. Unicron was always there. He was a threat, but he was a looming threat. And we have found the feedback from it's been great. I mean, a lot of people are just saying they really enjoy it. They really have fun playing it. We're super happy that's, but we've seen people have been taking their opportunity like, hey, let's go ahead and cheese it. We can beat Unicron in phase 1 if we do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, cool. That's fantastic. The idea wasn't designed to take the most powerful, competition decks against it. That's not the intent of it. But because of that, we always had the intention of we were going to make a stronger versions of the raid for you to go up against. And the idea is that there'll be stratagems that the Unicron player plays that will be hard mode, nightmare mode. Hard mode will have some additional rules that makes it so some of the super pings that people are using aren't going to be viable against him. In fact, he'll be immune to ping damage. He'll have to actually send physical attacks into Unicron to actually get those chaos counters down and things like that, which will greatly change the tempo of how you're doing it. And then Nightmare, we are still, there's still a couple things about hard mode we're still trying to figure out. And Nightmare, there's several things we're working on to try to make that even. So that's when you do take your massive, your big tournament super decks against him and see how that fares. So that was, the process of bringing him to life. And, just the hardest thing was figuring out the tempo of the game. What was the best tempo? How many players? Once we got that figured out, everything else started kind of falling into place. We tried to make it as thematic as possible. That's one of the reasons why once you get to phase 3, you get the light our darkest hour stratagem, because it's representing that Rodimus Prime has hit the table in a way that he's aiding everybody in the attempt to defeat Unicron. So we just we tried to make it as thematic as possible and keep it as in line as we thought it should play. Our characters are a little like our Cyclonus is definitely more inspired by IDW's version of the character, because Nyx was very much the traditional version of the character, and we didn't want to replicate any of that. We wanted to make sure both our Cyclonus and our Galvatron were uniquely different from what Nick had come up with. That way, you'd want to either you'd want to play them separately, obviously. The sweeps went through a lot of iterations too, trying to figure out what was best. We had them originally, you'd get 3, and they had much higher health pools, and it was pretty much, they were a brick wall and you could never get past them. And we thought that was not good. So we just rolled with the punches, made changes, kept testing, and kind of went from there.
Cool. Yeah, it's been something really fun, and I noticed the effects of like the Sentinels of the Multiverse, how it was very similar, but it feels thematic and it feels like a lot of heart and thought was put into it, so it feels really good, really well done. You know.
And we appreciate all the wonderful feedback. I think we've only had, there's been a few people like, oh, it's too easy. Okay, well, when hard mode comes out, which is hopefully going to be in the next 2 weeks, I think we're going to have a finalization on that for the hard mode stratagem. And then hopefully within a couple weeks after that, maybe at the first of the year, I think we'll have Nightmare hopefully settled.
And then Super Nightmare, and then Super Duper Nightmare. And then
No.
Ultra Done Nightmare.
No, because once we get the Nightmare modes down, we have been actually brainstorming. Team Primus has been actively working on a new raid that hopefully will bring a certain a character. We're shooting for a certain character. That will make everyone happy.
Wonder who that could be.
I don't know. I mean, 6 degrees of separation and all that. I mean.
Watch this space, I guess, folks.
Yes. Does that answer your question? Does that answer your question, Joe?
The question was, yes, it answered it correctly. Yes, thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Cool
beans. Salty.
Yes.
A slight delay there. Salty. What about you? What are you looking at building next?
Building next.
We've seen some interesting things so far. The Jank Master.
Yeah, well, I mean, because one of the things I was testing when we were first doing our cards, I didn't test it with the full set. I would like to go back to is Solo Galaxy Prime again.
No.
I've played that deck a few different versions of that deck in the past. With some of the Ark cards, I think it's actually viable as a deck. So one of the things I was doing was Vampire ribbons, toolboxes, defensive configurations, Magnus armors, Apex armors. So I believe there was, when we were testing Nick, there was a turn where you swung in for an attack, and I did my defense flips, got all 3 colors. So I repaired a damage which became 2 damage because of the toolbox, transferred a damage, and did kind of come exactly with the combination how it worked. But I ended up, I think I healed for more than I took, as well as did some back. And then the second character swung in, and I did a similar thing. And then it was my go, and I attacked, got damage through, healed with the Vampire ribbon. And yeah, that was pretty good. I like heals, man.
Yeah, but you can get in the bin with that. I'm telling you now, that's degenerate. That's yeah.
It was great. I loved it.
No, I hate it.
I like when you could build decks that work solo.
Long live Solo Palpatine in Star Wars Destiny.
Absolutely. I've been playing quite a lot of Triptychon. The games that I have played during lockdown over camera and stuff like that, I haven't lost with Triptychon yet.
Really? Wow.
In general, because before we put the stratagem and before Resilience, when I played on the channel, I won with him. I've never lost with him yet. Undefeated with Triptychon, baby. I went up against Scorponok the other day, and I lost 2-1 to Scorponok with my Windsweeper Slipstream deck. I was really annoyed because I was like, aha, Paralozo box. I'll flip Skywarp. We each reveal the top card of our deck. Haha. And I was like, oh wait, you've got focus. Like, yeah, I'll just get rid of it. Like,
well, no, because
again.
focus happens before battle flips, but after triggers. So you should have been able to get the Paralyzer box.
Does it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Focus is immediately before battle flips, but after other attack and defense triggers.
Ooh. Okay.
Carl,
I don't think it would have changed the game.
Thank you for chiming in with the rules questionnaire. I have a question for you.
Okay.
What was the hardest card to word/rules lawyer for the Ark Wave 1?
All of them.
Yes.
Every single one.
The oh geez, the hardest one. Just because I mean there's a couple. There's like 5 at least. Because I couldn't get a straight answer of how exactly he wanted it to work. Aerial superiority. Just because of the conditionals on it. Because of how I had to contort the rules to make it work, Weaponizer Megatron. Because
yeah, baby,
reviving a Battle Master that has already flipped and figuring out a way to make it flip again. Thank you, Titan Masters, for bringing us that little bit of technology. For as much as everybody.
I do remember. I was like, right, Carl, I've got a card. I need you to word this for me because I'm breaking the rules, baby. And I posted in what I wanted to do, and you just went, that doesn't work because you can't flip. You can't. How what the term was? I went, but we're not flipping it. We're redeploying it. And then you were like, I can make that work.
Yeah. Feral Tenacity for one of my own cards, because now that I think about it, it's actually borderline useless because the bonus goes away at end of turn instead of lasting until the next time the character attacks. But that was also kind of intentional. Also, just trying to get it to a place that made sense. Just because for a little while it was using damage counters, not named counters, so people were getting confused. Wait, if I plasma burst this guy, does the armor take the damage and the character doesn't? And so yeah, that needed a quick fix. But yeah, there's a lot of the more complex looking cards definitely took a couple of iterations to get to the point where they're at now. And yeah, I mean there's a couple that still need minor tweaks here and there to get working. Racing Stripes, actually, the current version that's posted needs to get fixed. It's only supposed to count colors, not types. Otherwise, hybrid icons, yeah.
Oh. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, because I based it off an out-of-dated wording from Slipstream. Technically, as worded, Slipstream gets her +3 attack bonus when she attacks in bot mode if she flips a Spy Master's Ruse, because it is technically 3 different battle icons, even though it's 2 blacks. Because she only looks at the types of icons, not the colors.
Huh. I see.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's also part of the these little rulings quirks are actually part of the reason why Cacophonous Failure is worded the way it is, because technically, Infiltrate doesn't work as written.
No.
I've mentioned this in a couple different areas, so I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of the rules. But basically, triggers are weird in this game. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
But cocky failure, because I can't say the word properly. Cacophonous failure.
Yeah.
That works on secret actions as they're being played. As well as blank
secret
cards.
Actions played face down have no battle icons, so they are considered blanks. Yeah. So Cacophonous Failure can stop them.
Yes, something I think a lot of people have actually missed is that fact.
You watch it turn up in many sideboards now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's probably actually might be one of the strongest sideboard cards I can think of, actually. If you think about it.
Yep.
There are a lot of very powerful blank icon cards. I mean, all the secrets for one. Our own Death to the Weak. You have
Trithyllium
one shall stand,
plating.
one shall fall. It only stops actions, not upgrades.
Ignore what I just said.
But you also have one, like I said, one shall stand, one shall fall. Photon bomb.
Yep.
What else?
Correctly built
showing off.
versatility. Yeah, showing
You know,
off.
the key combo card in all the Springer decks.
Ready for action.
Yeah.
Super good. Undervalued card.
Yeah. I still want to build something with is it Skywalk Barricade and insert character C, probably one from the Ark or whatever I can fit in with his star cost. I need to look, but I think we can make it.
Just do my Skywarp Octone deck, Nick. It's fine.
No, I hate Octone. Octone can go in the bin, I'm afraid.
Octone's great, man.
The only thing I'm hoping for is with our next iteration, we need to throw some boat support out there because I have my jank Ships Ahoy deck. Thanks to RJ, I have an actual. We have 3 boats now that I can actually field a team with. So
there is plans for a Trax Cliffjumper Sea Spray team up somehow. We're not sure yet, but somehow it'll be pirate involved. So.
But
I love all the way through testing. RJ was just like, "Oh my god, Grimlock! What do I do? What do I do? People are gonna hate me." And then he produced his Sea Spray. Like,
Oh, geez, the original version of Sea Spray.
it was garbage. The original
I loved it.
was
Let's
garbage.
have a
loved
little
it.
assassin boat here that has insane stats in alt mode, and then when he flips to bot mode, is a 0/1 that can't flip anymore with Brave.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was good. It was good. It was good.
he flips and he
Okay.
becomes absolutely useless.
It was thematic. He's a little weenie on land, so
He's-
I the land.
RJ, I believe the exact term was beached whale.
Yes.
His legs can't move too fast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of those instances where being a slave to your theme does hamper your card design.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
How many times did we have to yell at you to fix that?
A lot.
Yes, a lot.
A lot.
That's
I
funny.
kept testing him and was like, God damn it, RJ.
That's funny.
Between both of my
like,
cards,
dude.
I'm not allowed to create a card next set.
Oh my god.
It's like, dude, no one will play this card, man. It is awful. You're like, yeah, but he's Sea Spray, man. He shouldn't be that. I don't care if he's rubbish. We're like, no, make him good. Like, okay.
Oh yeah, and the original version of Sea Spray had permanent stealth.
Yeah.
The existing bot mode ability was on the alt mode. He was, I think, a 4/1 or something, or 4/2. Had the existing bot mode ability on his alt mode, permanent stealth, and then if he ever flips to bot mode, he just dies.
He dies. Can't flip back.
That's,
He
he
just
just dies.
0 attack.
See, RJ, that's funny because I've got you down for 6 cards next set. So
God damn it. I had such a problem with 2.
Hey, you've got to rebuild all the Dinobots, man.
You know what? That's funny. I actually have a question for Mike. Mike, where did you get all the abilities for the Combaticons? Like, you had 5 Combaticons to build, and they're so uniquely different. Like, where did you come up with the abilities? Like, what inspired you? Like, yeah.
Well, at first, I really liked playing aerial bots. Speaking of that, at Gen Con, I did pretty well with aerial bots. And so I kind of wanted to have at first, a Decepticon version of a combiner that did something similar to Superion that would essentially be more competitive than the other the combiners that we had. But over time, those abilities kind of evolved into other things that I kind of just wanted it to go with. Like with Blastoff, he's a space shuttle. That'd be an awesome thing against tanks and trucks from space that you would get an advantage that way. Onslaught's a leader and he's a strategist, so he'd give the other Combaticons a big boost. Brawl's a tank. Just stuff like that is where that all came from. And then, I mean, unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to test out stuff or play at all. Even, I mean, real life time constraints just eat up all my time. I got a different job, and I work probably 60 hours a week, it seems like, all the time. And then I got a wife and kids that probably would actually like to see me every once in a while. So
there goes our hero.
but,
Awesome. Mhm.
The unsung
But-
hero as well, because I say like the templates we have,
Mhm.
like,
and I
you
feel like
did
that's where
sterling
my
work.
strength could lie. Was you guys are the best at coming up with ideas for decks and cards and abilities and all that, and I just want to make stuff look really good. So,
Mhm.
so
Well, you
happy to
certainly
help
did
with
that, sir. Certainly
Yes.
did that.
Thanks.
Spades, man. Oh man, so beautiful.
So
Well, I
good.
liked the guy's comment on Facebook today about how he wanted more consistency with all the creator content to be
Mhm.
work better. If you wanted to get things professionally printed, like on make playing cards, and he talked about how ours were the only ones that had the proper bleed to actually do that. So it was really cool to get that nod,
It's awesome.
and I'm looking forward to making more in Wave 2.
Oof, me too.
Oh, we'll give you plenty, sir. Don't you worry about that. Don't you
Yeah.
worry about that. Like we say, RJ's doing 12 characters this set, so it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That number just
Just
keeps
keep
doubling every time we
Just
mention
keeps
it.
going up. Just keeps going up.
So
All sea sprays as well.
yeah, Crackback was really good, RJ.
Thank you. I stole that from Salty.
Yes.
My card.
Yes, he did. It's that thing where like I've been crying out since Wave 1 for a card that did that, and then we got to make our own cards, and then you went, I had this idea, and I went, wait a minute, that was my idea.
Up as your
And you
own.
went, yeah.
Although
I just watched one of your videos, and you mentioned it in the video, so I thought let's make it. And I was like, why did I not do that?
I have
I didn't believe I didn't do
I've
it.
had it work against me. It was kind of like I was like, is this gonna? Oh wait, I just took damage. Son of a.
So I have seen a couple of comments where someone said Crackback is broken. Yeah, I know,
Is that a
right?
company deck list?
I mean, in the blue versus blue mirror, where neither player draws any weapons and one player gets tough 3 billion, yes. In blue versus orange, it won't do anything.
Right.
No.
But it is a mirror breaker for blue versus blue that isn't belligerence. So, yay!
Good job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, good job, RJ.
Yeah.
Way to create that.
But again, it's one of them things where this is not to moan at everyone in the community, but people complain that orange is too strong and everyone just plays orange. So we play a card. We made a card that pushes blue, and then people complain about it. Like, guys, come on! If it pushes people playing blue, fantastic. That's what you want, right? People play some more blue decks.
Trilithium
around
plating.
Yeah.
Trithelium plating's great.
Trithelium plating is one of my favorite. Is another one of my favorite cards from the
Trithelium.
set, and is once again almost in every deck it's an auto include now. Blue deck, any blue deck at least, just because Pierce, go away, you idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Jetfire loves it, like he really does. It's so good. I can't remember who I was playing against. Wes, it might have been you actually. I had a Captain Jetfire with 3 Trithelium platings, a defensive configuration, and a Ghost Shield.
Yep.
So you had a base defensive 8 -6 Pierce, and then I had a Vampire Ribbon on him as well.
Yep. No. I remember that. That was
So good. Oh, it was fun.
That's
Then Wes goes disarm, and you go, oh.
yeah. If only I had that handy. No, that was definitely the term. Well, I don't want to say it, but prison abuse comes close to what I wanted to say.
I know a lot about that. So no, I don't. What?
Yeah. You stole from my prison wallet quite effectively.
Yeah, I did.
No, but
I
that card is so good. It really is.
Again, I remember during the conversations with Joe and Carl, we were like, "Does this seem too much? Like, but this, if we take that off, then that doesn't seem good enough." I think the decision we came to was like, the game needs this card.
Yeah.
Like, Pierce is just so strong.
What's interesting?
I believe the final consensus was just F Pierce.
Yes.
I also believe
I-
its original origin, Salty was trying to make the Omnibots good, and I think
wasn't me.
Oh, it's me and Dan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know there was an original a multi-level armor started there, but I guess it morphed into that. I
Mhm.
guess I could be wrong. But
No, I think it was one of the So Dan and Matt are working on upgrades for the Omnibots that if you got out, you could start playing multiples of them and stuff like that to try and make the Omnibots good. And every time we tested it, it just seemed to be, if I got them, it was really strong. If I didn't get them, it made no difference to the Omnibots. And they're just a real tricky team to build. Their ability is really difficult to build around. And then having the original ones were the more you had in play, the more buffs they gave. So we kind of went with that kind of ability, but it made it stack more than having it across your entire team of characters. Obviously, you can do that. You can put one on each of them and just have +1 defense and PS2. But obviously, the real key is stacking them all up on one character and laughing at Pierce. But bashing shield is a thing, so you shouldn't be keeping them for too long.
Yeah, there's plenty of removal out there to deal with that stuff. It's such a good bam, hey, guess what? No Pierce, go screw yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I ran it in a tank stack.
Which deck was that?
It was Megatron with the stratagem, our Ark stratagem.
Yes.
Demolisher and Impactor.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Joe looks lost in his own world. Look, are you okay, Joe?
He's reading his questions.
I'm icing it down now.
Oh, okay, nice. Joe's hot, everybody. Whoa, hang on. Temperature hot, not the other one. I wasn't.
No, he is. Yes, he is.
Oh, sorry. No, I've come across really negative. I'm going to stop now. Joe.
No, things right. Like, Joe's a good-looking man. The problem is he constantly sits next to RJ, which makes anyone look unattractive. You know what I mean? So
it's true. RJ is the sexy beast of the Ark.
You guys have to make me blush on camera.
It's too late now.
I made no such promise.
People have said that Joe looks like Iron Man, and so when we were watching Rick and Roll, he's like the guy looks like Tony Stark.
He is Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Tony Stank.
Tony Stank.
How does it feel being the Iron Man of the entire project?
I like me.
There you go.
There you go.
Textbook narcissism. Agreed?
So, how do we all feel about what we've created overall? It's a strange question. Are you guys proud of what you've done? Are you happy? Is there anything you would have done differently?
Yes.
I mean, hindsight's 2020, but I'm very happy with what we've done.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Yeah, I like it. I have one regret, but I think I'm going to fix that in Wave 2. But I love everything that we did. I love everything about one.
I would have kept
Dark Scream, yeah.
So was RJ?
Yes. I would have kept Sea Spray the way he originally was.
There's always little tweaks and fixes that I would have liked to have made, but I am very happy with what I made for the project and that it's been received well and that people are enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I'm very happy with the community response in general. I think when we set out to do this, it was at the start of the shutdown of the game, and I think all any of us wanted to do was just keep this thing going. And yeah, given the downloads and the feedback, it seems like we're doing all right. Actually, we've done a pretty good job.
Again, for a bunch of guys who have never done this before and who have never, we've never worked together on something like this as well. In particular, we've never like BOA have never worked with Wrecker Rule, never worked with Power Primes, to do a project like this. We all had to learn how to work with each other, learn how to make cards, learn how to test, learn how to modify, learn how to accept feedback. There's a lot of things like there's a lot of times where I think we were all probably guilty of it, where someone goes, "This is too strong, it needs changing," and we go, "No, I don't want to change my card." I think we've all been there.
And sometimes we say we have to change a card, and then it gets way worse and way more powerful, and then we have to go back and change him again.
Yes.
Sorry, Megatron. That's my fault.
Yeah, I'm shifting all the blame to Wes on that one. My version was piss weak, to be honest. I came up with.
He was tame, and then I argued that Megatron should not be able to be removed by a ramming speed.
And also the whole KO piece through Tyranny just to res him, and only if he's on Starscream. That was a little too specific to be viable for any kind of gameplay setting.
But I was going for theme, man. But like we said, this is where the theme can get in the way, and it was thematic, but it would have meant that he probably would just never see play.
He might be worse than Sea Spray.
No, definitely not. No, he's
original Sea Spray. Original Sea Spray.
I remember seeing a comment. Funnily enough, and you're going to like this, RJ. I was being interviewed on a friend of mine's podcast about just stuff that I did, and I was talking about Blues on Attack at the time and telling him about the Transformers trading card game, and he asked me, "Is Sea Spray in the game?" And at the time, obviously, he wasn't. I was like, "Yeah, no." And he goes, "Then what's the ing point?"
Yeah.
Literally what he said to me.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So I can now turn around and say,
there you go, RJ. You've made one person happy.
Two.
That's what it's about, man. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
It's true. It really is.
I think with regards to doing this, like, so there are things I would change. If I would probably add a health buff to that Megatron stratagem going back to it, because it makes him 11 stars and he's still only 12 health. So I would probably have put a health buff on it. But one of the things that I can't remember who it was who said it now. I remember it being in the Blues on Attack Discord channel that 2 of the guys' friends had quit the game after the announcement, and when the Ark Wave come out, they rejoined the game.
Mm.
Oh, that was Dave.
I was like, cool.
Yeah.
It was Dave. I can't remember if it was.
Yeah,
him.
it was,
And I was like, cool. I went, then brilliant. I'm happy with what we've done. Then, if people are coming back to the game because of it, fantastic. That's what we wanted. Keep people's interest,
I felt it right after when the set came out. I was worried about it, and when I watched the Bleep the Productions review, and I heard some of the stories that they were telling, it really like put it into perspective that this was a set made from love and like a lot of care, not to just put out cards. So,
Well, I've been asked multiple times by anyone I'm talking to about it, like, is this something you can make money on? No. Like, why don't you sell something? Not allowed to. Can't make money on it. Like, well, why are you doing it then? Because we want to do it. Like, we want it was really sad when the game got cancelled and we wanted to carry on playing, and everyone else was really sad and we wanted them to keep playing. So we decided, let's make some cards and try and keep the community going. That's what it is. And they're like, oh, so you're not tempted to sell any then? Like, no, it's not about money.
Stop trying to give me cash.
Yeah, I'm going to give you money. I'll take the money, but I'm not selling you.
I have other lines of work that that you could give me money for, but we'll discuss that off camera. Nah, not really. It's an OnlyFans, isn't it? No.
You sit and watch me play Transformers and eat Doritos.
Oh man, I'd pay that. But I mean, I think
show
the thing that did it
Doritos
for me. Show Doritos. The Stan Bush stuff though, like him noticing like the cards and Rodimus and our characters, like that was such a huge thing to have. Like one of the people that I remember being a kid watching the 80s movie and like seeing Daniel and Hot Rod driving and then and that whole song Dare to Believe and just, or Dare I should say, and then Stan Bush seeing that is just, it was a huge moment for me, and like it made me feel like I made something good, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. If the man likes the card, then who are we to argue with the man?
He didn't like the card. He wanted more heals, baby.
Yeah, he wanted a bigger heel on it.
What I love as well is that you went, all right, then we'll do that, and you never did.
Never did. Well, the Ark Wave 1.2. Yeah, we'll do an update.
Do another one called. Just call it Double Dare, and then
Double Dare.
We'll do a Stan Bush themed card.
I was say we call it Double Dare. Does that mean we're gonna have a picture of Mark Harmon on the card?
Oh, that's an old reference.
I don't know who Mark Harmon is. Sorry.
He was the original host of the Double Dare Nickelodeon show.
I never watched it.
And the fact that I've had to explain the joke just invalidates it.
Yeah.
Back when we had to dial phones.
It also horribly dates me, but that's besides.
I think is it just the British folk, or is it just me that don't know what Double Dare is?
Just you.
I don't know what Double Dare is.
So it's just the British folk, okay.
Yeah.
You know, you probably had a version of the show and they just called it probably something else, something very Britishy.
Funhouse.
Yeah, I will point out as well that during the production of the art cards, myself, Nick, and Adam and Dan were constantly faced with endless racism.
It was definitely a sad part of the experience.
Yeah, I had to go to counselling, man. It was terrible.
I had to go to
I need to see proof. You can't just say something happened without a deck list or a video to back it up.
Yeah.
The amount of gifs and memes and jokes and inside jokes that we just have from just making the arc has been so funny, So
I mean, I recorded every video session, so I've got it all.
Oh God!
I mean, Mattifer brings up a good point, though. The friendship that I think that has birthed out of this whole project. Just getting to know the Blues on Attack guys, getting to know Mattifer. I already knew the Wreck and Rule guys, but getting to see, RJ more often was nice.
Watching.
But it was, for me, that's the best part about the whole project was getting to know you guys and the friendships I think that we formed here. Will go long beyond this game, but hopefully we'll hopefully make this game last even longer because of it.
It's true.
You made me cry, man. But no, I said in our last reveal, which was the Scorponok reveal, that not to try and blow smoke up everyone's backsides, but when we started the channel, obviously we looked at what else was out there, and we looked up to you guys that had your channels, and then to be working with you guys is kind of surreal. It's weird. Because it's like, not that you were the competition. Oh no, I'll give him what I'm doing.
Damn it, Salty.
Wow. I'm totally, focused on what we're talking about.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll put that down, shall I? Not that, we saw you as the competition, but, you guys were the big channels, we were coming into that world, and then to be sat making cards with you and chatting to you and becoming friends with you is surreal, cool, but surreal. And in some cases, RJ, I feel like I've met, a soulmate,
See, I'm not sure if Joe's disgusted or jealous because don't forget, you are Joe's Starscream bro. Right? So...
I am. We are the Starscream. However, everyone seems to overlook my love of Starscream.
I mean, I don't. I know you're a big Starscream boy.
Yeah, but you don't have a hoodie, and you didn't go swoosh.
Yeah, to be fair.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
I didn't fight over Starscream as well. Joe was like, "I'm making Ghost Starscream," and I went, "Yeah." Okay.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that people don't. I think my love for Hot Rod is unknown. You guys know it, but I don't think a lot of people do. So, but Rodimus Prime was like I loved him so much that I had to make cards to help him. So like it was something that I really wanted to do. We made it. It was so fun.
was going to say, if you look at all the battle cards you've made, I think it's apparent.
Yeah,
How much you like
that I like
Hot Rod.
Rodimus. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've been relatively lucky this set just because I got to make 2 of my favourite characters. So, go me.
Well, I mean, again, like, you've been on about Galvatron since day one when the game first came out, like, more than anyone else. And as everyone who's reviewed the set or talked about the set in any mention, of course you have to do Windblade. Because, whatever it was, 1975 when you won that one competition. I won't shut up about it. Of course you had to do something.
Great competition, though.
It was the very first back of the binder challenge, and off the back of that, I got a reveal, which I was even more chuffed about. So, which was unintended.
Trash reveal as well. Wasn't it?
I mean,
If it wasn't for Pierce being so prevalent, it actually would have been kind of a decent card for her.
yeah, maybe with Trithelium plating now, she'll it's not a problem anymore.
I don't know what the stratagem does.
It gives her plus one
health, plus one defense.
Yeah,
Just +1 health.
that's it.
It's a permanent +1 health and +1 defense in both modes. So she now has, I think, 18 health and 3 defense in both modes.
No, she has
Not
15.
18.
15.
Oh, so 16 then.
No, it was 15 with the stratagem. Folks, you would have noticed a really weird cut there. Mike had to go. Matt had a strange knock at the door.
It was a moose stampede. We've established this.
I'm Moose. I'm booted booted down the door. Is what it was.
Hey, here you got those Transformers cards, eh?
Transformers cards, eh?
So now we moved on to impressions. Okay, cool. Right, Walken, go. Someone.
Wow.
You're the walking guy.
I am. Joe, go on.
Please. I'm just losing it.
Hey, Joe,
He's
come
got his
on.
invisibility cloak on. He's playing Harry Potter.
You gotta do the voice. You gotta do the walk-on impression. Over again.
What? No.
It's Mark Wahlberg. There you go. I like it.
Better yet, I'm a scientist. What? That's a transformer. Well, I'm a scientist.
I invented things.
I invent things. My name's Cade. How many scientists you know named Cade? What?
So you have seen the Michael Bay films then?
Oh,
And so
I've
what you're saying is
seen
you're
them.
a fan.
Matterford, because of travel restrictions, I can't go anywhere. Know this. I will find you. I have a certain set of skills.
A particular set of skills.
So
Well, I didn't know.
East Coast and then like British standards.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So 100 people were asked what they would like to see from the Ark in a recent survey that I'm making up on the spot, and I believe the Michael Bay set was the most requested as the next thing that we do.
Well,
Best
the
design
community will be disappointed.
April Fool's Day's coming.
It's true.
Oh, where's his camera? So I'm done.
Gone. That's it.
No, he's back.
You can't handle that.
Oh, excuse me.
What are we doing next?
I said, can we discuss what we're doing, or
Well, Joe and I. Oh, you mean with?
Oh yeah, I think we can. A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
We can talk a little bit.
not going into like details of specific designs. But maybe-
okay? So I have a character. So in bot mode, he's
I'm doing John Cena, so
Oh.
Everyone in the comments, put down in the comments who you want us to make. That's what you have to do.
we can talk theme, right? We can talk theme.
We can talk theme.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely we started out and we gave a little bit of love to the combiners in Wave 1, but I think we're going to give a lot more love to the combiners in Wave 2.
Yes.
Hello there.
yes. So yeah, as Wizards did their Combiner Wave for Wave 2, we're going to do our Combiner Wave for Wave 2.
Sweet.
We hope to bring some combiners to the game that weren't there to begin with. We maybe are going to be revisiting combiners that are there and need some tender loving care. And I think there's a special combiner that's coming that I'm looking forward to seeing to fruition, that a certain Joe.
Choo-choo! We're not ready for that. Don't put it on the pedestal. Come and knock it over.
But you did
like a 1 foot high pedestal.
But you did such a good job with Ghost of Starscream. Can he hit a home run again, folks?
It's true.
That's the question. You're like our golden egg.
What if I get like on base, but it's one of those on bases where like the catch happens at the same time as the foot hits the pitch? That might be one of those situations.
Or he gets hit by the pitch and he's on base for free because he stood in the way of the ball.
What is this non-cricket sport you're talking about there? Sorry.
Baseball.
The base of ball?
Yes. Is there a tiffin break partway through? I don't understand how these games work.
Cricket over there, you hit a paddle with the ball and they run whatever.
They run back and forth between the wickets.
Great idea. Let me do a relay race.
I think their equivalent is our rugby, and they play the American foosball. Is that correct? Yes. Yes. Spiffing.
Yeah. They call it football, which is weird because the ball gets kicked less than it gets handled. Should call it handleball.
Because the ball is a foot long.
I call it hand egg.
That's a terrible reason.
Wow.
But that's why it's called football. Because for some stupid reason, America can't seem to embrace anything more than the imperial system because, I don't know, we tried in the 70s. It didn't work.
Is that America's slogan? We tried, it didn't work.
We tried and it didn't work.
Inches, pounds.
So
you guys have stones, right? How do you weigh things in Canada, Matt?
By pounds.
And what do you guys do in the UK?
Stone.
What about pebbles? Is like how many pebbles to a stone?
No, it's grains of sand. We measure in grains of sand.
Boulder, the big one.
Yeah. So 8,000 grains.
That's a lot of grain.
I'm not here for. I can't.
So, in all seriousness, in the UK, what we do is we take a bit of everything and apply it as and when we want to. So, if it's really hot, we will use Fahrenheit. If it's really cold, we'll use Celsius.
Really?
Which, I have no idea why. But if it's hot, we'll be like, oh, it's 95. Oh, it's 97 or whatever. And then if it's cold, we're like, oh, it's -1. Like, huh?
We use Celsius too. Yeah.
It's so weird.
-1 is.
I mean, we really are making it up as we go along. So.
Oh right.
We just take a bit of everything. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I think what happened is as we had conquered the world, we absorbed so many cultures, we just can't get rid of them now.
I don't know what 0 is to them. It might be something different then. It might be like older.
This is a bad idea having them in the same room. You know that.
I know, right? They're like two naughty little schoolboys.
They really are.
He's had to mute himself. He's like
muted himself now. Yeah.
Oh, I said it. I said the word. Oh no. Wait for it.
Just saw Jay giggling away.
And this is what most of our Zoom meetings were like now. They weren't really.
It's true.
We don't get any work done.
This is why things like Cosmic Rust Cannon is broken because we wound up laughing too much and said F it.
You can't say that.
I was doing so good.
Take him away.
I was wondering who was going to break the.
Just one. It's fine.
You all doing really well.
All right, so we're PG-13 now, so that's our one instance.
One instance.
That's getting beeped. It's getting beeped.
Wes gets the Decepticon logo over his face when that happens. It's the.
Oh, is that all it takes?
Yeah. I think one of our most enduring fun moments, not for Nick, but every QA session was hilarious for me in particular, because all I would do is draw on the screen when Nick screen shared, because I was the only one who could do that, and RJ just could not handle it. Every few minutes, I would just draw something, and RJ's on the floor laughing.
What did you draw, Salty?
Huh?
What did you draw?
I'm very good at human anatomy. That's all I'll say. Well, as it turns out, Transformer anatomy.
He's actually did a pretty decent Daffy Duck one time too.
Oh, he did do it. Yeah, I've got that. You like draw me a Daffy Duck. I went, okay. I don't have access to black as a color, so he'll have to be green. But yeah, there we go.
I appreciated that.
And
That was a good little fun doodle.
And that's
So,
all it
yeah,
takes,
so-
folks. 5-hour
all it
Zoom
takes.
meetings every week, sometimes 4 times a week, and lots of drawing on cards live. That's all it takes.
Oh yes.
Sorry, what
Yeah.
you were going to say?
No, I was just gonna say. So yeah, folks have hopefully some good stuff to look forward to in 2021 from us. We're gonna keep plugging away. We're gonna keep designing cards that we hope you guys like.
New keywords?
Maybe some new keywords. Maybe some new traits.
Mm-hmm.
Some crossover keywords.
Maybe some crossover keywords. We have recently announced a beginning partnership, a venture with the Bayformers for some linked content.
I can't even normal game, let alone new keywords.
Tasty crossover action.
Tasty crossover action.
Very, very important for the future of whatever we're doing. So it's a very good thing, folks.
It's something. So I'll do a little. If you don't want, I'll do a little bit of a talk about it at the moment. It's been a huge request from everyone in the community that why isn't there one group doing the cards? Why doesn't everyone work and put cards out together? It's not that simple. You can't tell people they can't make cards. If you decide that everyone's going to come together and make cards together, and then Jeff over there goes, I'm going to make my own cards, you can't tell him not to. He can do whatever he wants. Also, we've never done this before, as I said earlier. So we had to figure out what we were doing from nowhere and figure out how we work together. Then throwing another group in the mix makes that more confusing because you have to figure out how they do their stuff and how they work, and does that make sense for us and does it not make sense for us? And then eventually, if we all do that, there's like 50 of us, and then who decides who makes what gets made? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's going to be a slow process, and you have to stick with us all. It's not something we can just all agree to do overnight. Okay, so we get in there. It'll this is the first step, but it'll be baby steps. But be patient with us, and hopefully we'll get to this unified Cybertron that you want us to get to at some point.
Or at least more unified than it currently is.
Yes.
And the other thing to remember is, like Salty said, this is the first time we've ever done this. So we had to learn a lot. We had to, we've made, like we've all said, we made missteps, and we're going to try to correct them. We're going to open up play testing a little bit more in the future with our next go around. We're going to get the cards in more people's hands sooner, so we can hopefully get things unspringered.
Yeah.
So, we just we appreciate all your guys' love and support for this for the project, and we're going to keep going until you guys tell us to go away.
Well,
and
if
even
they tell me
then,
to go away, I'm still going to do
I was
it.
going to say, and even then, I'm still going to make cards. So I'll make Cosmic Rust Cannon 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
+5.
Make it +5. Beauty.
I think +10, and when you attack, deal 2 damage to each enemy.
Done.
And,
in the can.
and repair 2 as well.
Yeah.
Grip to it.
In the can. In the
sorry.
can.
Green pip, yeah? Is that what you said? Green pip.
Green
Yeah.
pip, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, of course you can
Double green.
Double green. Double green, double white.
Double green.
In fact, we'll just make Mike extend the template, and it's going to be blue, black, green, orange, and hell white too. We're going to make it a first 5-pip card.
I'm in. Sold. Print it.
-1 star.
Your starting star team can have an extra 10 stars.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like it. I'm in. All right. Well, I think we shall round up this session then. Thanks, guys, for coming along and having a chat. It's been really good. And I hope everyone at home has enjoyed the little insight behind the scenes, some retrospect on Wave 1 of the Ark. Look forward to more in the future.
Well, this is my first Blue Talk, having been part of the channel that
yeah.
it's from for
congratulations.
over a year.
Yeah. See, Joe and RJ are actually the only other two here that have been on before. So everyone else is new. So, well done, guys. You are the first double appearance on this show.
Like SNL, after we do 5, we get a jacket.
You signed my Starscream?
Is that a euphemism or?
Sign my Starscream.
It's not a euphemism. It's not.
A euphemism.
What? No.
Right, we're out of here. Thanks for coming, folks. See you next time. Cue sexy jazz music. Wes, go
Enjoy
crazy
the
with jazz.
set.
Dancing to the jazz music.